Hey guys, welcome back. Val here. So guess what arrived today? It was perfect timing. The three butterfly bushes that are the last piece to go into the pollinator garden on the south side of the house. This is the first one right here. It's the chrysalis blue butterfly bush, obviously full sun. Let's see if we can see this. Blooms July to September. It's like a dark purpley blue. I find it's more on the, it's like a more of a warmer purple than a blue purple. But we'll see once it actually blooms. What else? Approximate size, 50 to 75 centimeters tall by 45 to 60. So that's about 3 feet, 3 feet tall by 2 foot wide. So I think that's going to go really good here down to zone 5. I think that'll work really well here. This is the place for the first one. And then the other one is going to go over here between the salvia. These are asters. They're like a light lavender color. And the baptisia, which is about to bloom. Look at it. It's probably going to bloom in the next week or so. Let's get started. That's going to be pretty. And then the third one is down at the end, down here. Don't mind the hose. We were watering yesterday. So these two are the asters, the light lavender color. That's the Amsonia, which will bloom. It's probably done. I'll keep an eye on it next year to see when it actually does bloom once it's in the landscape. That's a light blue. And then the butterfly bush will be a summer to fall, and then that dark pinky purple bluish color. So I'm going to set up the camera and I'm going to just record me planting all of it so you can see how that goes. It's not going to take long. There's only 3. It's a beautiful day. All right, so let's get started. I already have my my gloves, my spade, and let's get to it. All right. I also went to go get my kneeling pad because I'm going to need that. Okay. So first thing we do, we take it out of the pot. I like to keep the tags, or at least one of them. I take pictures of them too, just to keep them for future. Let's pop that back here. Get this out of the pot. And just plop it down over there. This I keep. We're going to empty the soil that I dig up into here. And it's good. It's not a windy day. So let me just verify that. So this is getting 3 by 3. I think we're going to put it here. So all I do, same process as I showed before, is to push the mulch aside until you get to the soil. If you're working from a new bed, obviously you're just going to have soil in it. There's bees flying around. They're all happy. I think it's a bee. All right. That's not going to fit in my pot. So I'm just going to leave it there. And now, right, try to see which side is the nicest. And just plop it in. That looks good. Make sure it's straight. You know what? I should probably put this in first. You just want to make sure it's tight. It's like the root ball is nice and taut. Because when we water it in later, soil's going to settle. I want to make sure that it all doesn't sink Just want to make sure that it's nice and packed in there. I am super excited. This is basically the last 3 plants. And this south garden is pretty much done after this. After these 3 are planted. And then it'll be fun to see the progression next year, starting from the spring bloomers, the summer bloomers, the fall bloomers. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. And then just to see how that goes. It's going to be exciting. Can't wait. First year, even the second year, sometimes they take some time just to establish and get going. So next year will be a good indicator of what it's going to look like. And then they'll just, they'll grow probably to their maturity. I know for sure this is the Amsonia next to me. That's going to be a beautiful shrub. It's going to be like 3 by 3. It's going to take up that whole space with these beautiful pale blue flowers. You can see them. Most of them fell with the wind recently. All right, that's one. We're going to go do the other 2. All right, plant number 2. Same concept. So to carry on with what I was saying earlier, the first year, the plants they're young, they're smaller, they're not at their full maturity. But next year, once they have a chance to establish this year, get comfortable, next year they'll bloom at the right time. They'll grow a little bit more into their full size. And it'll give us a better sense of how things are going to look in terms of the bloom times and how things look in their footprint. And then the following year will be even better. Okay, let me just focus here. We are going to put this is going to get 3 by 3. That's going to get 2.5. I think I had it good. I'm going to put it here. Yeah, so it's always exciting. So, and the first year, like, don't be discouraged, right? Because the plants, they're going to look smaller the first year. Don't worry about it. They're perennials. They're tough. They'll come back next year. And it'll be a little bit more reflective of what the end result is going to be. Realize that makes it tough to visualize this year. You just have to have the vision. Trust the process and try to imagine it. I do a lot of planning on paper and Excel and things like that, just to give myself bees. Sorry, bee. The bees have been after the salvia ever since I planted them. It's been really rewarding to see them. All right. I do a lot of planning on paper, Excel, whatever works best for you. I probably do a mix of both, just to try to picture how big things are going to get, what's going to bloom when, that type of thing, because it's really hard when you're walking around in a garden center to tell. So I do a lot of research before. I usually do, with this particular project, I kind of knew the types of plants I wanted, then just laid it out in terms of bloom time and color scheme. So we have blue and dark purple, light purple, a lighter pinky purple, and just going across the strip here. So when you're going into a garden center, it can be overwhelming because they have so many amazing things. But if you go at least with a little bit of a plan in mind, and it's always good to have, your plan B. As an example, what was I looking for? And they didn't have it. Bee balm. I was looking for that, the wild bergamot, the wild bee balm. It's a very light lavender instead of the Amsonia, to have that light purple, pinky purple color. But they didn't have that. I couldn't find it anyway. So I ended up getting the Amsonia, which was on my short list of something that I've always wanted to plant. So it was kind of a good thing that happened, because now I get to plant it and I get to see how it grows in my garden. So always good to have a plan B, and that way you're not disappointed. I couldn't find any butterfly bushes of like a smaller size, because some of them can get like 6 to 8 feet tall and wide, which would be a little bit too big for this area. So I ended up buying them online because I went to like almost every garden center near me and I couldn't find any. So I finally said, you know what, I'm just going to order them online. Hello, bee. Carry on, little bee. And then got distracted by the bee, you guys. Yeah, so for these particular ones, I ended up getting them online. They arrived today. And look how great they look. They look amazing. All right, number 2 done. Do the last one, and we'll be done. This is a really quick job. Half an hour. All right, let's go. All right, third one. The wind has picked up a little bit. Hopefully that won't impact the audio. All right, so that's going to get 3 by 3. These are going to be small. I think it's good where it is. All right. Let's move the mulch aside. And we just watered everybody in this bed yesterday, so you can see the moisture underneath them. Makes it much easier to dig. So highly recommend if you're digging, try to try to make sure that it's either moist or you've watered previously, just so that it's not hard to dig in there into your soil. Ooh, what was that? I heard a rock under there. Well, we're gonna find out. Let's see what I've got in there. What is in there? I think it was just a small rock, actually. There's something in there. Oh, that's a rock under there. Because, of course, where you're planting, where you want to plant, you're going to see a rock. It is, but now do I put it there anyway? I'm going to do it anyway. All right. So that doesn't fly away. Loosen that up a bit. Find the right, I think it's like that, the right direction. Pop the soil back in. The other thing I did this morning was add some reflective tape to the berry beds, just to try to deter the birds. I've got reflective tape. I cover the strawberries with the mesh tunnel. Well, the netting. The blueberries are still in bloom. I let the pollinators go to town. But once the berries start appearing, I'm probably going to cover the bushes with a mesh cover, so that the birds leave them alone. They can't get to them. But I also add that reflective tape. I'll bring you up there so I can show you what I mean. And I could see them sparkling in the wind. That's what made me think to tell you guys that I did that this morning. I like to do I call it my morning walkabout. I like to do it anytime I'm out here almost every morning, just to walk around, see what's changed, see if everything's okay. It got cool last night. It went down to, I think they said 6 Celsius, which is about 6. To do the conversion quickly from Celsius to Fahrenheit, you You double it and do plus 32 roughly. So it's 6 times 2, 12, plus 32 is 44 Fahrenheit. And which is pretty cool for like annual things. Just make sure that's okay. So it did get cool last night. Just wanted to go out there, make sure everything was okay. And it was. The only thing that I brought in were my 2 annual pots in the front. I just put them into the garage, put them back out this morning once it got, closer to 10 degrees. All right, so that's good. Let's water them in. So, this out of the way. Get me out of the way. Yeah, so, and everything else looked fine. So, and I fill these up with we collect water from our rain barrel. So that's one. I'm going to do the other 2. I don't know if you want to watch me do that, but I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'll just move you over here. All right. Yeah, so if at all possible, I use rainwater from our rain barrel. And then if we're doing like major watering, like if everything needs to be watered, then we'll do it with the hose. But for just these little spot watering, just get the watering can out. Okay, so that's done. Let me take you up to the my reflective tape. I'm trying to battle birds on all fronts. I figure one of them is bound to work. All right, let me take you up there. All right, so you can see them. Oh, let me hold it steady. You can see the reflection. Hold on a second. Here, let's go up there. And all it is, and I use these, it's these, if you're familiar with either house plants or like stakes, if you've grown amaryllis, it's these things. These things. I have them because I have a lot of house plants as well, and I use them for amaryllis and things like that. But then this tape, it just comes in a roll. I just tie them to that, and they'll blow in the wind. There we go. And I put them on either side. There's a couple more there, and you can really see them from far. They're super reflective. Crazy. I mean, if I was a bird, I wouldn't go anywhere near this thing. It looks terrifying. And then I put 2 more in the blackberries over here. And it's reflective tape. It's called that for a reason. Wild. I don't put any in the strawberries because they're covered. But that's it. That was pretty much it for today. I was glad that the butterfly bushes arrived because that was the last piece to the puzzle for the pollinator garden. And the new toy. That's our new toy, the Hoselink. It's a retractable hose. So here, let me show you. Let me zoom out a little bit. Show you how this works. Very cool. If you're familiar with it, so you pull on it. You can go 50 feet, which is plenty to get to the back. And then once you stop pulling, it'll stop. And then once you're done, you just pull it a little bit, and then it just automatically retracts. Oh my God, that's going to be amazing. That's going to be great. Now, I love my other hose, which is one of those, I don't know what they're called, but they're like super soft, and they shrink up. I don't know. I don't even remember what the brand is. The brand was X-Hose? I don't remember. I love that hose because it's super lightweight. My husband isn't a fan. Since I do most of the watering out here, I got to choose that hose, but then he said, hey, why don't we get one of these? And he knows the way to my heart, guys, because I feel super spoiled. I really love this. And the other thing is it rotates like 180 degrees, which is awesome. If you want to bring it somewhere else, like you can just lift it. It's got a handle and it comes right off. It's just like a pole, and then it just sits on it and Super easy. It was really easy to install as well. I mean, we had the post installed as part of the project with the water and everything, but just hooking it up to that post was like 4 screws. It was super easy. All right. I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching, everybody.